That was an extract of Raja Raja Soran, another amazing Ilayaraja song. This is episode 26 of 2026. It is episode 26 of 52. That's week number 26 of 52.
I don't give a
of 2026. We are halfway through 2026. Can you imagine that? And so far, this has been a pretty terrible year for tech. The biggest story of the year in tech has definitely been the increase in the prices of electronics because of the memory chip shortage, because of the demand from AI data centers. We've talked about this before. Go check the previous episodes. Prices have increased across the spectrum. Samsung's phones are more expensive than last year's. Laptops, tablets, all of them have raised their prices.
My disappointment is immeasurable.
But the point where shit really hits the fan is this week when Apple announced that they are increasing the prices of their iPads and MacBooks and other stuff. Let me tell you why this is significant. Apple is the most tightly controlled supply chain company in the world. They are the envy of other companies about how good their supply chain is. And their products are already high margins, partly because of the efficiency in supply chain, partly because of brand value. Maybe there's a bit of quality in there. And for a long time now, people may not notice this, but for a long time now, Apple has been absorbing the rise in prices of certain components, aka memory chips. When GPU prices were high a few years ago, they did absorb those prices and did not pass them on directly to consumers. But this time, Apple, well, today, the day I'm recording this, Apple announced all over the world that their prices are increasing, that they cannot further absorb the rising cost of memory chips and they have to pass on some of it to consumers.
My day is ruined.
I mean, in the US, prices have risen anywhere between $100 to $300 to $500.
My day is ruined.
The entry-level MacBook, the MacBook Neo, which was a runaway success this year, now starts at $700.
My day is ruined.
Where it started around $600. So even students are going to have to pay extra for MacBooks. In India, there's one more thing we need to know, which is that Apple has betrayed India and has betrayed Indian consumers. Why? Because the price increase is much higher, it's disproportionately higher in India compared to the rest of the world. And these products are made in India. I mean, what the hell, Apple? What the hell also the Indian government that could not prevent Apple from raising these prices through the roof? Let me give you an example. The 14-inch MacBook Pro. In the US, the price rise is by about $300. In today's exchange rate, that is almost 30,000 rupees. In India, the same device is seeing a price rise of 50,000 rupees.
Totally fucked.
Why are these prices much higher? That is, why is the price rise, the delta price, much higher in India compared to the rest of the world? And more than half these products and more than half of the components of these products are actually made in India. I've been talking about this on my channel for a while now, but we need to talk about this more and more. Why are Indian consumers not seeing lower prices for iPhones and other Apple products in India? Seriously, what's the point of Make in India if Indian consumers are going to pay inflated prices anyway? What's the hidden factor in the price of these electronics where we do not see lower prices? Is it GST? It can't be just GST. So the next time somebody announces a massive manufacturing investment or capacity expansion or whatever it is in India, normal Indian consumers like you and me will not even see half of that benefit. I mean, we haven't been seeing lower prices of international brands in India. I'm talking about Apple, I'm talking about Dell, I'm talking about Lenovo. All of these, even Samsung, all of these make their stuff in India, make a large portion of their stuff in India, but it is just as expensive, if not more expensive in India than it is in the rest of the world. And I refuse to believe that it is just GST or whatever it is. There's something seriously wrong over here. Speaking of investment and speaking of Apple, Foxconn announced that they're investing another $37.2 million into their manufacturing facility in India. This kind of news used to make me excited, but now because of what I just told you, it actually makes me meh. I wonder what it will take for Apple to make the made in India iPhones to be cheaper in India compared to the rest of the world. Don't forget that Apple separately is facing an antitrust lawsuit in India from the Competition Commission of India. Still could face a potential $38 billion fine, but they are dragging their feet and...
Say something!
I'm not saying that Apple is gonna exit India. Apple cannot exit India, okay, the way they cannot exit China. They are deeply entrenched. Their policy is to diversify away from China. India is a place with cheap material, cheap labor, and loosely enforced regulations, sadly. So...
Say something!
Yeah, well, if you're thinking of upgrading your iPad or your MacBook, I don't know if you can wait for a couple of years, you should wait for a couple of years. The price rise has not come to the iPhone yet, but industry experts are saying it's coming, that the iPhone is also going to be more expensive.
No! God, please, no! No!
They'll either increase the price of the iPhone 17 and the 16 series. The 17e that's coming is gonna be at least $600, I predict. And the iPhone 18 series, which will be launched in September, is going to be the most expensive flagship yet. That's my prediction. Come September, come the iPhone event. If you think that my prediction is wrong, come back here and tell me in the comments. Speaking still of manufacturing iPhone components in India, one of Apple's tier 1 suppliers is Tata Electronics in India. And they don't just make Apple components, they also make components for Tesla and a bunch of others. Tata Electronics suffered a massive data breach in which sensitive proprietary information that belongs to Apple and Tesla and a few others was leaked. It was a ransomware attack. The attack was claimed by a group called World Leaks, which is kind of like a famous hacker ransom group. They demand a ransom. The amount is not disclosed. Tata Electronics said that they are implementing further controls. Apple is saying that they are conducting a full-scale investigation. Tesla has not commented yet. I mean, this goes to show that cybersecurity is still one of the biggest risks in the world. It's not just proprietary information of Apple and Tesla has been leaked. Okay, competitors can use that to try and make better stuff. But there's also a question of liability here, and how much of the liability will be put on Tata Electronics and how much of it will be borne by Apple and Tesla. By the way, if any one of you are from the World Leaks group that did this ransomware attack, get in touch privately. Right, now we move on to headlines, which has its own theme music and introduction video. Thanks to Vikas. You know, now when I pick up my iPad and look at it, I have a 4-year-old, I have a 5-year-old iPad Pro, and I was honestly thinking of upgrading it this year, but now I am going to hold on to it. Amazon.
I passed away from Devta College. Batsmen always appreciate my ball.
Amazon Global CEO Andy Jassy visits India, announces some quick commerce scale-up plans for 300 cities. Then Andy Jassy met Narendra Modi, Prime Minister, and announced a $13 billion investment in India. That is on top of the $35 billion investment they already made. So now it's a committed investment of close to $50 billion in India. Well, the investment is not going to be just for e-commerce or quick commerce, it's also for AI and cloud data centers infrastructure. After e-commerce, what is Amazon's most profitable venture? AWS, Amazon Web Services. And of course, they need more cloud compute, and of course, they need space to build and use more data centers. Where better than India? I don't wish they do that. Hyundai and TVS announced a pilot of something called Blue Move. Blue Move. It's a 3-wheeler EV ride-hailing platform, basically electric auto rickshaws. Aren't they cute? The pilot is in the Delhi NCR region, which is the Delhi government is making really significant push for people to adopt EVs more and more. It's not just consumers, there are also electric ambulances that the government is pushing for, and now you can see the electric 3-wheelers. This push to EVs is becoming really, really rigorous, by the way. It was rumored this week that the Delhi government is considering not even issuing licenses for petrol 2-wheelers about a year from now. The Department of Telecommunications has issued draft regulations for the administrative allocation of spectrum under the Telecommunications Act of 2023. Basically, satellite internet spectrum allocation. There are draft rules that the Department of Telecommunications is releasing. This, of course, is aimed at Starlink, which has had its approval. I don't know why this makes me so happy. Am I evil? Yes, I am. Sometimes. Starlink has had its approval to launch in India paused by the Indian government. The government is now drafting and they've released for public comments for 30 days rules about the allocation of spectrum of satellite internet. And it's supposed to affect Starlink and its competitors, including the secret venture that Reliance is working on to compete with Starlink. By the way, you all saw last week that Jio Platforms has filed its DHRCP for the IPO. Basically, they filed confidential IPO papers. There's not been an update till now, but I'm closely monitoring it. So you should subscribe if you haven't already. The Indian Army has signed a memorandum of understanding with Zoho to support indigenous data transformation under the Jointness, Atmanirbharta and Innovation Mission. JAI mission, JAI. The collaboration will focus on secure digital platform, app-based R&D and technology skill development as the army works towards becoming more future ready. This is actually good because, I remember in my work as a cybersecurity consultant, one of my seniors actually said, today when I go to war, I won't go with missiles and tanks and jet planes or whatever. I will go with an army of hackers. Clearly, nobody said that out. Yeah. The Indian government is planning to disburse 7,100 crores in FY27 under a fresh set of projects targeting chip fabrication, manufacturing and design. The government expects the funding to attract another 15,000 crores. That's some crazy interest rate over there. And generate close to 5,000 jobs. The center may acquire a 1 to 2% stake in Sarvam AI. Sarvam AI is the darling of the India AI mission. They've been one of the biggest benefactors of the India AI mission, but they've done some pretty good work, I have to say. And even recently, they've raised close to $300 million through a private round of funding. So after that funding round is complete, the government maybe will buy 1 to 2% stake in this company. I think it's a good move of the government to have at least a stake so it becomes like a part public sector unit, this big strategically important AI company. Speaking of AI, Indian and US government representatives are reportedly in talks for Indians to have access to Claude's Fable 5. Remember, was it a couple of weeks ago? Yeah, recently, we spoke about it here. The US government issued an export directive to Anthropic where access to Claude Fable was prohibited to all foreigners and foreign nationals. Well, after this report, Donald Trump actually told Axios that he doesn't see Anthropic as a national security risk anymore. But also, the Trump administration told OpenAI this time to restrict access to his latest model. All of this is very confusing, and the US government is making it confusing nonetheless. Closer to home, and speaking about, online fraud.
Yes! Yes! Yes!
The RBI issued a directive to limit liabilities of customers in case of unauthorized digital banking transactions. The liability is limited to 25,000 rupees, which means if there's been an online fraud and somebody made a transaction on your behalf, the maximum you can get is 25,000 rupees. That sucks. That absolutely sucks. So make sure you do not send your OTP to anybody, and also take a whole bunch of other measures to protect yourself online financially. Leave a comment if you want to know some of these easy measures. Popular listening app Pocket FM has shut its micro drama vertical app called Pocket TV, which is kind of like surprising because there's this whole micro drama boom that's going on in India. Pocket FM actually said that Pocket TV has not made a meaningful contribution to the company. Yeah. Adani Group Adani Group launches an initiative called Vande Bharatam, a nationwide initiative to identify and support entrepreneurs, innovators, and problem solvers across India. They didn't say how or how much, if you know what I mean. Co-working major SmartWorks is acquiring a Singapore-based competitor called Work Studio. Some of these co-working firms should really focus on their names. SaaS major MoEngage. See, speaking of names, SaaS major MoEngage acquires US-based AI marketing startup Ampe, AAMPE, to scale AI marketing. Ampe provides dedicated autonomous agents for every individual customer of a brand. Now remember, in many jurisdictions across the world, if you are chatting with an AI bot, you can legally request to be referred to a human. Such regulation is not there in India, but it's there in a lot of European countries. And finally, Kunal Shah, founder of Cred, is now the global CEO of WhatsApp. It is a moment of pride for Indians, etc. But this news is not exactly surprising because remember last week we said Meta is considering investing in or acquiring Cred, which is valued at some $4 billion. So yeah, let's predict. Let's not bet money because I don't like gambling. I don't want anyone to gamble. But let's see if Meta completes its acquisition of Cred, and maybe Kunal Shah being the CEO is actually part of the deal. I like to sign off with a couple of things. One is there's a hilarious video online of influencers being invited by Flipkart to their creator event called Glam Up 2026, and they are scrambling literally in fist fights to sort of get free hampers that are given out by Flipkart. Not very influential, if you ask me. But more important thing and more serious is that about a week from now, less than a week from now, in fact, on July 4th, is going to be Amazon's Prime Day 2026. It is an online shopping frenzy. It happens every year, and a lot of people do actually get good deals, at least think that they get good deals. But what I want to tell you is to please shop responsibly, please consume responsibly, don't buy things that you don't need, and don't buy things just because they are on sale, right? Also, pay attention to prices before and after the so-called sale. Remember that the price of electronics has increased this year. All the more reason for you to consume responsibly. Right, with that message, I want to wrap up this week. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Do check out the video description or the show notes for a lot of good stuff. Make sure to subscribe. Make sure to follow this podcast. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure to subscribe. If you're listening to this on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts, make sure to follow the show, leave a rating and a review. Share this episode with 5 of your friends so that they don't go out and spend money unnecessarily on a new phone. or something else. I'll see you guys in the next episode next week. Until then, stay blessed, stay curious, and stay informed about tech in India. Bye.